Hey everyone, welcome back to JD Bots. This is the bot series on RASA Pro, where in our last video we installed RASA on our development environment, and today we are going to follow this complete RASA Pro tutorial and also get hands on how to get started with RASA Pro in developing amazing conversational AI solutions using LLM capabilities. So we had a quick intro in our last video where RASA Pro contains the open source RASA plus CALM, that is conversational AI with language models capabilities. Okay, and we had followed this detailed tutorial for installing RASA, and we had used Python for installing RASA in our development environment. Today we are going to follow this RASA Pro tutorial in a detailed manner, and where we'll be building this money transfer application. Okay, so here's a quick demo how our application or conversational AI solution will look like in a chat interface. So on a happy path, I want to send money. So who would you like to send to? To Jen. How much would you like to send? 50. Please confirm. Yes, all done. So that's a happy path. Okay, so here in this case, let me give you some intro about this, like in terms of intent and slots. So intent is what would you like to do? That's what intent is. I want to do something. That's what intent is. What is entities? The information that you pass while activating that intent. For example, I want to send money. So that's intent, pure intent, but it does not have enough information in this query. For example, whom you would like to send, how much you would like to send. So these two are the entities. Okay. So like what suppose 2 is my entity and amount is again my entity. So I have two variables that I want to fill it out. Okay. So I have these two variables that are empty and I want to fill this out. So I have one intent, send money, and I have these two variables, recipient and amount. Okay, and even you can set one more variable for confirmation if it's your choice. So let's suppose we have three variables now: recipient, amount, and confirmation. Okay, so intent and my entities. Okay, so I can also pass whole lot of information inside the same query that I'm using. So here it's an example. I want to send $100 to Joe. So here in this query, he has mentioned two of the entities already, like two of the information that is already part of this particular query. One, recipient name, we already have Joe. Second, how much is the amount. So these two details are already part of this query. So that means we just need to get confirmation from the user to proceed ahead. Okay, now let's talk about slots. RASA uses slot in order to fill out those variables during the conversation. So RASA uses slots to fill out those entities variable in conversation. For example, if user has said this, then it would look at the slots. Okay, I have the slots and I have three variables to fill out. One is recipient name, second is amount, third is confirmation. So it has three slot variables to fill it out. Okay, so one, it has asked the question again to the user to fill out the slot for recipient name. So we have the recipient name, so it is filled. Next, it is again going to look at the slot which is blank. So based on that slot, let's suppose its amount is blank, that it is going to ask this one. So similarly, if you pass all the information, then your slots are filled. Okay, slots are nothing but your entities or variables that contain sufficient information about the conversation to be filled out by the user so that your chatbot can take some action if it has sufficient information. If it has sufficient information and filled all the variables, then it can take action, right? So AI cannot take action if it has limited information or no information. Okay. Now, change of mind. So I need to send $50 here. Amount is filled. Okay. Recipient name is pending. So half information. So here it is asking, to whom would you like to send to? Jen. Okay. Please confirm. Here on the confirmation, if I had said yes, then it would have sent the money. Here I added one more query. Actually, no, 60. So I'm updating my slot variable to a new value. I can also update the recipient name as well if I want. In this scenario, it is updating the slot variable amount. Okay. So I corrected the amount and then it is again asking for the confirmation. So it has said 60 to Jen and I said yes. Then it is going to send the money. Okay. So here you can update the slot variable values, or you can say you can update the entities values to a new value as well during the conversation. Okay. Now, so hope you understood this pretty good example over here. So happy path, all at once, and change of mind. Well, we do have unhappy path as well. We'll see that while we build this chatbot and test it out. Okay. Now, following this tutorial, you need developer edition license. This we already discussed in our last video. Okay. And you also need an LLM. So this assistant is powered by LLM. We fine tune and upload it to Hugging Face. For convenience, this tutorial will use a deployment that we host and make available for users throughout the tutorial. Okay. If you want to use a different LLM, you can. Otherwise, RASA has already built and fine-tuned an LLM and uploaded to Hugging Face. Hugging Face, you can say marketplace for LLMs. It has so many models that are available where user can try them out. So you can say it's a marketplace for LLM. Okay. Okay. Now, setup. For new users, the easiest way to get started is using GitHub code spaces. This we are not using. The thing is, we have already set up our development environment and we are going to use RASA Pro locally on our own machine. This we already did. Okay. Now, let's run this command and get started. Okay. So, I'm going to open VS Code. Okay. Let me increase the screen size. All right. So in our last video, till this we have already done, like created a environment where we installed RASA, and now we are going to use the same environment to build that, to create that RASA project. Okay. So I'm gonna check what's my Python version. Okay, there it is, 3.11.11. So I was using Python 3, but yeah. So now my version is 3.11.11. That was the latest version supported by RASA Pro. Here you can see while installing RASA, 3.10 or 3.11 we can use for RASA. Okay. Now let's run this command. Make sure you have set up this environment. We had created the last video where we had set up this environment and installed RASA in it. Now we are going to run this one RASA init and we are going to use this template tutorial. Basically, it is going to create this money transferring chatbot. Let's see how much time it is going to take. Okay, license not found. A RASA Pro license is required. Please set the environment variable RASA Pro license to a valid license string. Okay, I think this we haven't set up last time, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, this we haven't followed it last time. Okay, so here we have the license. So I have copied the license. Now let's use this export RASA Pro license and your RASA key. Okay, so export RASA underscore pro underscore license. Let's do that. It says it's temporary. Persistent, this is what we are going to use. Let's use persistent. Hopefully we'll be building more and more RASA chatbots. So let's try this. Okay, and here I'm going to replace my with my RASA Pro license key. Okay, and okay, this seems to be fine. Let's enter. It's done. To cross check, let's create the project again. Okay, it says RASA Pro license is not found again. Let's try this other way. Let's try this one. Okay, it worked. Temporary it worked, but persistent it did not. That's fine. We can call that command again. Okay. So what it says, RASA Pro reports anonymous report. Okay. If you would like to opt out, RASA telemetry disable. We're gonna do that. Okay. We don't want to send anonymous usage telemetry to RASA for their product enhancement. Okay, if you're building an enterprise level chatbot, I think you should disable this option. So I'm gonna keep track of this. I'll come back to this once I set up this project. Okay, please enter a path where project will be created. I think since I'm on the correct directory, so I'll use enter. Let me go back. Okay. Oh, here it has already given me that. That's fine. Okay, so let's enter this, and this is my directory and it's not empty. Yes. Okay, next is, do you want to train an initial model? What does tutorial say this about? You have okay, I think yes, let's do it. Otherwise we could have used this one, rasa train, to build the model or train our model. Okay, that's fine. Let's see. Training an initial model, so it takes time. So RASA is all about patience and it takes time to train the model. So every time you make some changes, you have to train your model, and training takes time. By the time, let's look at the project structure on the left hand side. It has created this 4 YAML files, one data folder, under that 2 YAML files, and under actions we have this one actions Python file. So here our training is done. So what it is asking, do you want to speak to the trained assistant? Let's say yes. Oh, perfect. So we have an user interface as well. Perfect. I was not expecting that because previous versions of RASA do not had this RASA inspector. Well, it had RASA inspector, but using CLI only. But now we have a complete web application that interacts with your RASA. That's really cool. Okay, so I think it's done. Let's talk to it. New conversation. Let's say hi. Here you can see the slots I was talking about. Languages, silence timeout, end to end test. So tracker state. Okay, this is really nice actually. That keeps track of the slots and variables that it is going to say utter responses. We'll talk this all about, but for now, let's speak to the RASA. So here, this flow got triggered. That is utter free chit chat response. Let's see. I want to send money. Who would you like to send to? Perfect. So here you can see I was talking about slots, right? So we have two slots, recipient and the amount. So here is asking uh, to fill out the recipient slot, and this is the message. Here I can see tracker state. Okay, it is giving me the all of the trackers. So this is the place where we are on transfer money. That's the intent I was talking about. Okay, and so collect recipient and utter ask recipient. We'll see all of this, but let's go through the conversation. So JD, how much money would you like to send to? 400. We're all done. 400 has been sent to JD. Is there anything else you need help with? By the way, he did not ask me for the confirmation. That's fine. Let's give all the one information now. I want to send money to JD. How much money you would like to send? 100. All done. 100 has been sent to JD. I want to. This time I'm not going to say money. I want to play a game. Let's see if it has LLM inbuilt. Sounds like fun. What kind of game are you in mood for? Perfect. So I'm not sure from where that response is coming from. I believe it might be coming from some LLM inside RASA. Uh, I want to play chess. Okay, so I'm sorry I'm unable to understand you. Could you please rephrase? Okay, so I think it doesn't have memory. I mean to say, if we are talking of a free conversation, the slots, yes, it has memory because it needs to fill out those slots. But if I'm asking away from the context, it doesn't handle that. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm unable to understand. I want to play chess. Please help me with the rules. Let's see. Perfect. So it has LLM inbuilt. Sure thing. Chess is a classic game that involves strategy, tactics, and these are the rules that it is asking. Okay, perfect. So it has LLM capabilities inbuilt along with your core functionality of send money feature. So it has that capability. Perfect. I really like it, and I can see that the training time has improved a lot. And previously, when I tried building these chatbots, I think a couple of years back, Their training time it would take at least around 5 to 10 minutes. If you have a slow machine, that would take more time. But now the training time has been reduced to 1 or 2 minutes. Perfect job, Rasa. Really nice. So now they have RASA LLM inbuilt. That's good. So if you're asking questions away from your regular context, it is going to handle it. But it doesn't have a memory context. For example, if you don't want to follow the core conversation of sending money and you want to follow this general conversation, uh, like chat gpt, so it should have the memory context. So I'm gonna build that. Let's keep this in mind so that we'll come back to this. Okay, now let's go back to the documentation. So this we have seen rasa train and rasa inspect. What I'm going to do, I'm going to stop this rasa inspect. Okay, instead I'm gonna start fresh. Let's suppose you modified something in your model in any of these YAML files and change some messages. So you want to train it again, right? So let's use this command. Okay, training is done. Next is RASA inspect. RASA inspect is used to launch that UI portal. Earlier, RASA inspect was a CLI tool where you would test all these messages in a command line interface. So now they have built this user interface for testing this out. Hey, I don't want to send money. Let's see. I said, hey, I don't want to send money. Let's see what happens. It's slightly slow. I can feel it. It might be like having an orchestration layer behind it, like where the control has to go to either through the action file or to the LLM. Okay. So if I just reload the page, what happens? I'm just going to close this. Let's say hi first. Oh, that was quick. I don't want to send money. Let's see what happens. That's perfectly fine. There are plenty of other things you can do together. How are we about chat about favorite TV show? Perfect. So it is doing that. Send money. So this is fast enough because this is the main chatbot is all about sending money. So it's not using LLM. It might be using LLM for the intent classification behind the scene. Let's see. Who would you like to send to? Jen? No, I want to send to Joe. Let's see. So here you can see it has updated the recipient. How much money? I applies for the mistake. I have updated the recipient to Joe. No, I want to send to Jen only. See here. Keep track of the first name. So here it has updated the recipient to Jen. Okay. Let's say 100 rupees. Okay. All done. Perfect. There is no confirmation here, but it's fine. Okay. What is all this about? Light LLM, AI docs. Okay, that's fine. Let's go back to our documentation. So when you run RASA inspect, it is going to open an application on port 5005 and it is doing for us. Yes. And the template bot responds to chit chat by generating a response. If you want to disable this, delete the file data slash patterns and retrain it. The template bot responds to chit chat by generating a response. Okay, if you want to disable it, delete the file. Okay, let's see what is there in the train template, which is a patterns file. Okay, conversation repair flow for off-topic interaction that won't interrupt the main conversation, should not respond to greeting or anything else for which there is a flow defined. For greeting, there is a flow defined, so it responds it from its own model. So if you want to disable the LLM capabilities like off-topic interactions, then you can delete this file. Okay, utter free chit chat response and flow for handling knowledge-based questions. Okay, let's do that. Delete and Control C, RASA train. RASA inspect. I'm gonna do this, that will be better. Okay, let's say hi. I'm sorry, I'm not trained to help with that. Okay, let's start. I think chit chat was greeting was already there, right? Hey, good morning. Okay, it doesn't have that. I want to send money. Okay, perfect. So now this chatbot doesn't contain the AI capabilities. It's a simple chatbot with intent and entities. You can see this as a previous RASA open source chatbot where we don't have LLM capabilities. Okay, I'm gonna restore that file. Oh, there it is. Patterns. Put back. Okay, I have the file back in action. Okay, so understanding your money transfer flow. So the file data flows. So data flows contains the definition of a flow called transfer money. Let's look at its definition to see what's going on. Okay, so here is a transfer money intent, you can say. So here it is called flows, and it has a description, helps user send money to friends and family. This description, I think it's used for LLM to classify, to trigger this intent. And what are the steps? Collect recipient, collect amount, and amount the number of US dollars to send. Okay, I can also update this, like if you're just collecting a number instead of a currency, then you can see it's a just number, you can mention or different currency, or you can say the number of INR, uh, Indian rupees to send. This also you can do. And after that, utter transfer complete. It's an action. So after it collects the recipient amount, so here you can give the description as well if you want, but it's fine, it's optional. And what action you want to perform after you collect this information. Okay, utter transfer complete, that's the action you want to perform. Okay, next, the two key attributes of the transfer money are the description and the steps. So these are the key two attributes, description and steps. Okay, the description is used to help decide when to activate this flow, as I mentioned earlier. So it is used by LLM to help trigger this flow. Okay, but it is also helpful for anyone who inspects your code to understand what is going on. If user says I need to send money, RASA understand that this is a relevant flow, and the steps describe the business logic, what the user asked for. Okay, The first step is collect, which is used to fill a slot. A collect step sends message to the user requesting information and waits for the answer. So it's straightforward. We all understand this. Okay. So transfer money is my flow name or intent name. If I talk about in terms of natural language processing, this is my intent. This is a description of my intent, which helps LLM to understand and trigger this flow. Okay. If I'm off topic, of course, this flow will never be triggered. And after this flow is triggered, this is the steps RASA will follow to fulfill this. Collect, it's asked to collect information to fill out the slot. Recipient is my first slot, amount is my second slot. We are also giving the description for each of the slot. In this case, it is giving for the amount. You can also give it for recipient. Okay. It just makes the code very clean, and somebody who looks at the code, they can understand it better. Okay. Next, we can also add confirmation, right? Let's say collect confirmation, confirm the transfer. Okay. Let's since it did not have that confirmation, right? So I'm going to add that. Okay. Confirm the transfer and finally take the action. Okay. So I'm not sure how I will be implementing this because I'm doing this for the first time. Let's see step by step, right? Okay. Now collecting information in slots. Slots are variables that your assistant can read and write throughout the conversation. This we already discussed while we having that initial example, right? This one. This we already discussed. Okay. Slots are defined in your domain YAML file. For example, definition of recipient slot looks like this. So domain YAML file. This contains my slots. I'll stop the server for now. Okay. So we have one slot recipient, which is of type text. Mapping is done from LLM. Okay. Slots can be used to store information that is fetched via the API call. First, you're going to see how you store provided, but to do this, you define the collect step. Okay. So second is amount. Amount is of type flow and mapping is done through LLM. So let's add one more, confirmation. It's of type bool and mapping is done from LLM. Okay. This is good. So we added one new slot, confirmation, and whose definition is here, confirmation, whose type is bool and mapping is from LLM. Okay. Now, I think responses, I think we need to update this as well. But let's go through documentation again. Okay, slots can be used to store information that users provide during the conversation or information that has been fetched via the API call. Okay. Yeah. What does this information mean? Either you can fill out that slot using the information provided by the user during the conversation, or it can also be fetched via an API call. Let's suppose you want to fill the slot for name. A name, you can get it filled using an API call. Let's suppose this is a logged in user, get its logged in profile, fill the slot name so that you can directly refer to the user. Hey JD, like that. Hey Jen, hey Joe. So name, you can fill it at the start as well. So it is just saying that you can fill out the name if you want, or you can fill out any slot using an API call. It's possible. Okay. First, you're going to see how you store information provided at the end user in a slot. To do this, you define collect step, like the first step in your flow above. Okay. This we see that. We have seen that. Okay. RASA will look for a response called utter ask recipient in your domain file and use this phrase to question to the user. So now you know that from where that questions are coming from. So these questions. Who would you like to send money to? So these are coming from this domain file responses. So utter ask recipient, who would you like to send money to? Okay. You can also pass variables to it. For example, here it is using that slot variables, right? So I'm going to add one more. Oh, I can pass buttons as well. That's good. Let's not use buttons as of now. Okay. Utter ask confirmation. So make sure you follow this format only. Utter ask and your slot name. Utter ask amount. Utter ask recipient. Utter ask confirmation. So these are my slot names. Make sure you append utter ask at the start. Okay. And finally, utter transfer complete. I think there we will have somewhere this definition. Here you can see utter transfer complete is my action, and here is the response for that. All done, amount has been sent to recipient. Perfect. Now let's go back to documentation. RASA will look for a response called utter ask recipient in your domain file and use this to phrase the question to the user. After sending this message, RASA will wait for a response from the user. When the user responds, RASA will try to use their answer to fill the slot recipient. And yeah, you can also do validation as well if you want. We'll learn this later, not now. Okay. You can run extra checks on the slot values RASA has extracted. For example, you can do validation, like let's suppose you have a fixed set of recipient names in your database, and user has said, I want to send money to Joe. Then you run a check on your database. If Joe is present and is present as a valid recipient for this user who is logged in, then you can perform that slot validation. That is also possible. Next, the diagram below summarizes how slot values are used to collect and store information and how they can be used to create branching logic. Okay, so collect final confirmation. Okay, it has done this. Okay, I was not aware that we would be doing this, but let's see whether we have done it correctly. Confirmation, collect confirmation. Okay, here the slot name is final confirmation, but my slot name is confirmation. It's fine. Response is utter ask final confirmation here. And do you want to proceed? But I'm giving extra information that's fine. Slots, final confirmation, type bool. Final confirmation, type bool. And flows. Okay. What's the next step? If okay, the value of final confirmation used in slot to choose the next step in the flow. Okay, let's do that. I'll not implement this for now. I'll come back to this. I need to understand more of this before going ahead. Okay. Before that, let me just quickly run this. So I have responses and let's do RASA train. Let's see whether the flow that we built is correct. Then RASA inspect. Let's say hi. Okay. I want to send money. Who would you like to send to? Joe. Here you can see the third slot is confirmation. How much money would you like to send? 800. Just to confirm, you want to send 800 to Joe. Is that correct? No. See, in our case, it's not working. The bad flow because we haven't implemented this one. This guy. If final confirmation is true, then transfer successful. Else, no. Okay. So that's a bad flow. This is how you can test this as well. So I'll start again. I want to send money to Jen. INR 400. Okay, so it's skipping that two of the steps. Just to confirm, you want to send 400 to Jen. Is that correct? Yes. All done. Oh, let's see how it is updating. I want to send money to Joe. 1 rupee. No, send to Jen, but 2 rupees. See here, Jen 2. So it has updated in real time. That's good. So this we are going to fix it. No, let's do that. So let's implement this next. Oh, it is already doing that for us. Okay, we are going to follow this tutorial now. Okay, so we are going to follow this tutorial to fix this. Okay, the second collect step includes a description of the information your assistant will request from the user. Descriptions are optional but can help RASA extract slots values more reliably. Okay, that's good. Next, the third step in your transfer money flow is not a collect step but an action step. When you reach that action step, your assistant will execute the corresponding action and then proceed to the next step. It will not stop to wait for the user's next message. For now, this is the final step in the flow, so there is no next step to execute and flow completes. I think we can create multiple flows, I guess. Okay, so for now, let me remove this. Okay, branching logic. Slots are also used to build branching logic. Okay, you're going to introduce an extra step to your flow asking the user to confirm the amount and the recipient before sending the transfer. Since you're asking a yes no question, you can store the result in a boolean slot which will call final confirmation. Okay, in your domain file add the definition for the final confirmation slot and corresponding response. This we already did, this one. Oh, not this one and this one. I have defined a slot. I have also defined its response. Bool mappings from LLM. Domain, the responses, this is also done. Okay. Utter ask final confirmation, utter transfer cancelled. Okay. Let's do this. Utter transfer cancelled. Okay. Your transfer has been cancelled. Transfer cancelled. No money has been sent. Perfect. Notice that your confirmation questions uses curly brackets to include slot values. This we have seen. Add a collect step to your flows for the final confirmation. This step includes a text attribute with your branching logic. The expression after the if key will be evaluated to true. Okay. If not slots dot final confirmation, then utter transfer cancelled. Next is end, else transfer successful. Okay. And action is ID is transfer successful. Okay. The expression after the if key is evaluated to true and false. Determine the next steps in your flow. The then and else keys are contain either list of steps or the ID of a step to jump to. Okay. In this case, the then key contains an action. Yes. To inform the user their transfer was cancelled. Okay. The else key contains the ID. Yes. Notice that you have added this ID to the final step in your flow. Okay. Okay, let's do that. Collect confirmation. Next. If not slots. Okay. I need to learn this. Well, GitHub Copilot is not much capable of doing this as of now. If not slots confirmation, that means it's cancelled. Basically, it's doing false check. If it is false, it is going to become true. If it is true, then it is going to become false. So it is adding that not condition. Then action, that is utter transfer cancel. There it is. Okay, next. Okay, so end is used to end that confirmation flow. That's fine. Next is else. Transfer successful. Okay. And here we are going to create that ID. Perfect. Okay. So what it is doing, it is checking if that, let's suppose confirmation is false. Then this becomes true and our utter transfer cancelled will be called. Basically, this message will be sent to the user. If it is true, let's suppose user said, okay, I want to send money. It's confirmed. This becomes true. This condition becomes fail because true if connected with not, this becomes false. So this, it will not come inside this. It is going to go to else part, transfer successful, and it is going to check this ID. Okay, this is the ID for utter transfer complete. Utter transfer complete, basically this is the text that will be sent. Okay, now to try out the updated version, use RASA train and RASA inspect. Let's do that. By the way, we are not using actions file as of now. Okay, so we are, I think here they have given the example for check sufficient funds. Okay, this also we can do for checking the if the logged in user has sufficient fund to send money or not. Currently, it is all done using the flows and responses. So let's see now. Hi, that is fast. Send card. Let's see if our LLM is capable enough. See here. So it's not that good. I send I have sent card, but that is triggering for the money. Okay. If I say cancel, I have stopped the transfer of money. Okay. Send greeting. See here, it's not at all capable. So I would, that's why I don't use RASA. This is the reason. Its LLM is very dumb. Let's suppose if you have used the previous NLP capabilities, right? So where you would train your model more and more with this utterances. But I sent is send greeting card, so I think it is only targeting send. It's not worried about the greeting card or okay. Let's see, Jen 300. No. Oh, it's still sending money. So it's not doing what I wanted to do. So it says, I apologize for the confusion. It looks like I made a mistake and sent the wrong amount to the wrong person. Is there anything else can I help you with? It's really dumb. So I fixed the issue. The issue was it was not in proper format. So I asked ChatGPT, that is GitHub Copilot, to fix the issue. Well, it did not fix it initially. Then I kept on providing error messages. Then it basically gave me the correct code for this. Okay. The issue was it was not in proper format. So this is the correct syntax. Slots dot confirmation is false. And then if that condition is true, we are canceling the transfer. Else we are completing the transfer. I also removed that collect the last action because everything we are doing it here, it will never reach that particular piece of code. Okay, so it is working fine. So I'll just say hi, but it's really bad at interpreting the initial intent. So if I say send fruits, it is going to activate that flow. So let's say Jenny, and hey, it looks like you provided a name instead of a number. Okay, please provide a valid number. Oh, recipient is fruits. That is really bad. That's completely bad. It's way. I did not expect this from Rasa. You want to send to fruits, is that correct? If I say no, right? So it is going to cancel it. Okay. So transfer cancel, no money has been sent. So I'll just show you the happy path as well. Send money 456 to JD. Okay, so it's coming at the confirmation. Let's say yes. Perfect. This is working fine, but it's really bad at interpreting the intent as well as interpreting the data that I provide. Hopefully, if I give more description, then it can analyze things better. All right. Okay. Now, coming back to this tutorial, now we are integrating with an API call. So I think let's do this on the next video because now it's already overloaded. I don't want to be I don't want you to get overwhelmed. So, yeah, let's continue next. Thanks, everyone.